This demo looks at how Node.js handles large amounts of data with socket.write. We have long text.json, which we are just going to use a require statement to turn into a string. The contents of long text.json are a large number of random characters wrapped in quotes. Once we have this string long text, we are going to write it using socket.write. This piece of text is 130,414 bytes in length. And so this is substantially larger than our maximum chunk size of 65,000. Even the 65,000 value is not guaranteed. We're working over a wireless connection, for example, that value would be much smaller. So on the writing side, there is not a big difference. We just use socket.write on our variable, and the Node application will take care of any separation of the chunks for us. On the readable side, the data handler will be called once for each chunk that it receives. So in our example, this time instead of printing out the chunk data, typically we do chunk.toString, this time we will print out the chunk.length. And that's just because I'm expecting this size to be roughly 65,000, so it's much better to just print the length instead of the actual data that's being sent over. But we will get one call for each chunk received. So over here we're expecting at least two chunks because the size is 130,000. So let's start up the server and start up the client. Okay, so on the sending side, we send 130,000 bytes. The Node application will take care of the splitting of these files into chunks. On the receiver side, you can see that we receive one chunk for 65,536 bytes, and then a second chunk for the remaining bytes. Let's see how this looks in Wireshark. We have our three-way handshake, followed by the first segment of data, which is 65,539 bytes. And then we have our second chunk of data, which is the remaining amount of bytes, followed by the acknowledgement of 130,415 is acknowledging the full receipt of the entire file. At this point, we can terminate one of the connections. Let's terminate the client this time. And that will send our four-way handshake to close the connection.